Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in EDH. Today we're looking at Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice. So anyone who's played Boggles in Pauper, Pioneer, and maybe even Modern should be familiar with Light-Paws, but for those who aren't, it's a 2-mana 2/2 white creature that says whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura, and with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light-Paws and shuffle. So the different name is not really going to be an issue here in EDH, where all of our cards are singleton anyway. So primarily this is going to be a Voltron deck where we are using Light-Paws as a Voltron creature to stack a bunch of stuff onto it and kill our opponent. It also should be noted that the aura that you cast that triggers Light-Paws doesn't have to be attached to Light-Paws. Now the aura that you find will automatically attach to Light-Paws, but the original aura does not have to attach to Light-Paws. So you can use auras that attach to other things in order to trigger it. So we've got our full list of auras here in the deck. But before getting to that, let's just go through some of the other generic categories. So we've got some card draw, Esper Sentinel being the usual white card. But of course, since we're playing a ton of auras, we may as well play other things that draw cards off of them. So Core Spirit Dancer, whenever you cast an aura, draw a card. Mesa Enchantress, whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card. And SRAM, whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle, draw a card. We've got some combo cards with Cloudstone Curio, Helm of Obedience, and Rest in Peace. So these two combo with each other to mill an opponent infinitely. Although neither of these have anything to do with Light-Paws, they're just a combo that you can play in mono white. Cloudstone Curio is sort of a combo in that any aura that you play can bounce another aura back to your hand, so it means you'll always have access to an aura so that you can keep triggering Light-Paws. A little bit of fast mana to get Light-Paws out faster. Then we've got mostly just basic lands, but some other lands to note are Ancient Tomb, Cavern of Souls, Gemstone Caverns, Nykthos, and Sarah's Sanctum. We've got a bunch of protection effects. We'll go through some of these. So we've got Giver of Runes and Mother of Runes and Skrelv, because we don't want our Light-Paws biting it to removal when we cast our auras. It does kind of suck if our opponent has white-based removal like Swords to Plowshares, because then all of our auras would fall off of our creature anyway, but this at least protects Light-Paws from non-white removal sources. Then we've got Benevolent Blessing. Aura, ETB, you choose, or rather as it enters, you choose a color. It has pro from that color, and the effect doesn't remove auras and equipment that you control that are attached to it. So you can choose white, and this and all the other auras will stay attached to Light-Paws. We've got Elend Umbra and Hyena Umbra, which grant Totem Armor, which is if the creature would be destroyed, instead you remove all damage from it and destroy this aura. There's Greater Auramancy, which protects our other enchantments from enchantment removal. We've got Pentarch Ward, ETB, choose, or as it enters, choose a color, draw a card. Again, enchanted creature has pro to color. This effect doesn't remove Pentarch Ward specifically, but not other auras, so it will get rid of them if you choose white. Unquestioned Authority, ETB, draw a card. Enchanted creature has protection from creatures. And Sphere of Safety, because we're going to be playing a bunch of enchantments anyway, we may as well play this to prevent our opponents from attacking us. Then we got some ramp, including Pet Pearl Medallion. We've got Replenish and Retether. So just in case let's say we have a Light-Paws and we get a bunch of auras on it, and then our opponent sweeps the board or kills Light-Paws. These are ways that we can mass reanimate all of the enchantments back onto Light-Paws or any other creature. Then we've got our removal spells, which will include a bunch of enchantments. So we do have just straight up Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, and Stroke of Midnight. But we also have aura versions of those. So Reprobation, enchanted creature loses all abilities and is an 0/1. Darksteel Mutation, enchanted creature is an artifact, 0/1 that loses all abilities and is indestructible. Chains of Custody is 3 mana, enchant creature you control. When Chains enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Chains leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature has Ward 2. And On Thin Ice and Ossification, which are auras that enchant snowlands or basic lands, which is snowlands in this deck. ETB, exile a creature. This one also hits planeswalkers until they leave. We've got, of course, we're in mono white, so why not play a bunch of stacks cards? So we've got, of course, Null Rod and Stony Silence to shut off artifacts, and we're not playing too many artifact rocks ourselves, plus a bunch of our stuff is cheap anyway. We've also got Kataki to tax the artifacts. We've got a whole bunch of Rule of Laws in Archon of Emeria, Aven Mind Sensor, Archon of Emeria, Phyrexian Sensor, and Deafening Silence. Aven Mind Sensor to shut off searching effects, Rest in Peace to hit graveyards, Hushbringer and Torpor Orb to shut off ETB triggers. And Hushbringer also shuts off death triggers. We could play more than this, but I think this is sufficient. Then we've got a bit of a tutoring, Enlightened Tutor, open the Armory to go find auras, Heliod's Pilgrim to go find auras. Helm of the Gods. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. So this is a way to just make our guy bigger. Sarah Ascendant as just a big beater. And we've got Galadriel's Dismissal. Target creature phases out. If this spell was kicked, each creature target player control phases out instead. So this is a way to protect our guy from removal or sweepers while maintaining all of the auras on it. So it's another protection spell. And then we got a remote farm here as another land. So then coming back up here to all of the auras. So this is going to make up some of the ones that we've already been over, like the removal and protection spells. But we've also got some of the other ones that are important are All That Glitters. Enchanted creature gets +1 for each artifact and enchantment you control. Ethereal Armor, +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and first strike. We've got Angelic Gift, draw a card, and enchanted creature has flying. So this helps us punch through opposing blockers while cycling itself. Battle Mastery, enchanted creature has double strike. We do want to deal more damage, and we potentially want to get our power level up to 21 so that we can one-shot players using the commander damage rules. Daybreak Coronet, +3/+3 first strike, vigilance, lifelink. We'll pretty much always have another aura. Also, yeah, we're pretty much always going to have another aura, so the restriction here of enchanted creature with another aura attached to it is always going to be online. And then it allows us to, 1, get a bunch of life, and 2, have vigilance, so no one can really attack us to race us either. We've got Flickering Ward. So this is enchanted creature gains protection from the chosen color. So it is a protection spell, but more importantly, it's got white bounce itself, bounce the aura. So it's a way to always just be able to cast Flickering Ward again and go tutor up another 1 mana aura. Griff's Boon, +1/0 and flying. Light of Promise. Enchanted creature has, whenever you gain life, put that many counters on this creature. So this combines with other life gain like Daybreak Coronet to make it so that our Light-Paws just continuously grows bigger. Then one of our most expensive auras, Mantle of the Ancients, 5 mana, enters the battlefield, return any number of auras and or equipment from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to enchanted creatures. So it is another retether effect. And enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it. We've got Rune of Sustenance, ETB draw card, and the creature gets lifelink. Sage's Reverie is ETB draw a card for each aura you control that's attached to a creature, which in this deck is going to be quite a lot of auras, so this is a draw spell. Sentinel's Eyes for vigilance. Solid Footing, +1, and it assigns combat damage equal to its toughness, which most of the auras that we have are equal, although we do have things like Elend Umbra that give +4 on toughness only. And also coming up, we have Stone Skin, 3 mana flash, enchanted creature gets +0/+10. So that is another way to make Solid Footing deal a ton of more damage. Spirit Mantle, the enchanted creature gets +1 and is pro creatures. Songbird's Blessing, 4 mana. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an aura. You may put that aura onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom. So this just means that whenever we attack, we get to go tutor up another aura. And then lastly, we've got Sunbond. Enchanted creature has, whenever you gain life, put that many +1 counters on this creature. So it is another Light of Promise. It's just 1 more mana. So in particular in this deck, because Light-Paws gets to tutor whatever aura we want whenever we cast an aura, as long as the aura is the same cost or lower, we can do things like, let's say we cast Stone Skin, we can then just tutor up Solid Footing, and immediately our creature is getting +11. Or we can tutor up Ethereal Armor for anything that costs 1. We can tutor up All That Glitters for anything that costs 2. Anything that costs 3 can find Battle Mastery, which gives it double strike. And then, of course, anything that's more expensive can just go find anything. We can also use our removal-based stuff like Reprobation to go tutor up stuff as well. We can tutor up, you use On Thin Ice or Ossification to tutor up whatever we need. So our removal spells become tutors to put stuff onto Light-Paws. So primarily the first thing that we're going to ideally want to do in any situation is we're going to want to tutor up protection auras so that Light-Paws doesn't get killed. So mostly the ones that give protection from colors, so that we have it so that the Light-Paws is not going to get taken out by, let's say, Chain of Vapor or Swords to Plowshares or whatever. And then we're going to then after that, we're going to want to stack auras onto it. Primarily the ones that give huge boosts like Glitters, Ethereal Armor, Stone Skin, so that we can just start one-shotting our opponents to death. But yeah, that is primarily going to be what we're going to do here. We can also set up certain other combos or draw spells, but primarily we're going to be all in on Light-Paws and just Voltroning the hell out of it to one-shot our opponents with Light-Paws. And yep, that is pretty much the deck.